Welcome, this is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more The Long Journey Home. And I think at this point, it's time to jump out of the system. And where we're going to go from here is to that wrecked ship that we found out about. So I think we have to jump to this system, and then we'll go over to the system that has the shipwreck in it. So let's go ahead and jump. There's a couple ice plants here that we may be able to mine for. Specifically, I'd like the phosphates, but the copper's not necessarily bad either. 2-star system, so we'll have to see. Okay, so I'm gonna assume the big gray ball is the other star. We may start getting pulled in as we come around. Yep. Okay, we're gonna slingshot around that, hopefully. Just let it take us where it takes us. Didn't really even have to do anything to go the way I wanted to go. There we go. Perfect. Let's move this out a little bit so the star doesn't bring us back in. Now I'm going to have to refuel the EM tank fairly soon. And I have a lot of borates in storage, should be able to do that. But I'm going to use whatever we mine here, possibly. And we'll see about replenishing with that. Now this one ice planet we're coming up on right now is fairly small, so I have a feeling unless there's some other reason why, we should be able to land on it without too much difficulty. I feel like the game music is louder than I normally have it. Let me turn that down a little bit. As far as resources go, though, I don't necessarily want to use the borates right now because we have a full cargo hold with them. I prefer to burn through things that we don't quite have that full capacity with yet, because I think it just maximizes our storage space a little bit better. I'll leave the full cargo holds for emergencies, which with where our exotic matter tank is, may be coming up. Once we're done taking a look at the shipwreck, we're going to go over to the gate, the Elitza gate, because I have a gate pass. Now I'm hoping that we don't consume the gate pass when we use it. I'm going to need to start slowing down here. There we go. That should do it somewhat. There we go. Hoping we'll be able to lock in with this course. Alright, so it does say harmless. There are no life forms, but there are structures, so more than likely we're going to want to take our archaeologist down. Gravity is low. And I'm not seeing any hazards, so let's go ahead and switch our pilot here. Now, the archaeologist does have a couple injuries, and I may want to address that. I'm going to hold off until somebody gets 3 injuries, because our consumables... We have a couple consumables here. We have the... The main one being our medical kit, which can alleviate a lot of these things. As we can see, it would alleviate 2 of... actually, both of the injuries that we have with our archaeologist, or we could take this, which would just alleviate the 1 malady. So Depending on what we what have happen with the archaeologist, if she picks up one more injury, let's say she breaks her leg or gets a burn or something like that, then yeah, I'll probably use the medical kit. That'll get rid of all three things at once. That's pretty good. All right, let's... oh, I don't know if I switched the lander or pilot. Let me make sure I did that. Yes, I did. Okay. Go ahead and land. So... from what I saw, both of the resources we're looking for, the copper and the phosphates, are going to be down on this planet. So we're going to be doing a little bit of mining. We're going to be doing a little bit of exploration. Looks like the mining may happen first, unless I really kill my speed here. Well, it's a low-gravity planet, so... looks like I managed to pull that off without too much of a hitch. Whoa. I am not used to dealing with a low-gravity planet, though, so... I built up a lot more momentum than I was used to dealing with. Might have to use some reverse thrust here to... oh, no, didn't need it for locking down. I've landed at the wreck. Looks safe to board. Let's explore. The airlock's blocked, but I've found another way in. Everything's been thrown around during the crash. Rotting bodies everywhere. Broken glass all across the floor. Gotta be careful not to tear my suit. The doors are all sealed, but there's a computer terminal here. Still has power. Maybe it can help us find something. So let's take a look at it. It's no good. It's beyond me. Maybe we can find a less subtle way through. Okay, we don't have a salvage kit. So I may want to send a different crew member down. Maybe they'll be able to figure it out. So might be worth another trip. I can't see a better way through. We'll have to leave this one. Alright, well that's fine. We'll just do the mining with our archaeologist now. So it's not a complete wasted trip. And then I might come back down with somebody else to see if their expertise is enough to get through that door. If not, then it's not a big deal. I just send the archaeologists on these missions because of... and the foreground crap. I can't see you at all what I'm doing. They need to fix that. They need to make it go transparent or something. Alright, I'm gonna get a little greedy here. No, I'm not. Okay, it looks like we're just gonna get one phosphate out of that. Okay, now for the copper. We'll probably use this to repair things almost immediately. Okay, we got 3. That's going to be as good as I think it's going to get. Let's go back up, and we'll see about doing the mission with... trying to think who would be the best person to send down there. It would probably either be the test pilot or the astronaut. I might do the astronaut. She seems to have a little bit more well-rounded skills. So let's go into our resource management. Phosphates are uncommon versus rare for the borates. Let's go ahead and burn that now. And then the copper... we'll use a combination to repair the lander. 2 for the lander, 1 for the ship. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and switch our lander pilot. I guess I'll take Kirsten down. And... oh, there's our little glooped buddy, although his arms are phasing through the back wall. Just don't pay that any mind, I guess. And... oh, we can actually do things with these books now. Okay. Let me add it. Found more relics than you've had hot dinners. I'll take a look, but don't think I'll see much. If they point to anything, I'll find it, or whatever the Kudast are looking for, it must be in our galaxy. Looks like the same thing twice. So we're going to study this one. I think I found a reference to a location in this sector. It's on an ice planet. And then we'll do one more. I think I found a reference to a location in this sector. It is in a system with a red giant. Okay, so we just found out 2 bits of information there, both dealing with this sector. Okay. I am curious to eat this, because I don't know what it's going to do. Why don't we go ahead and do that with the archaeologist, just to have a little bit of fun here. I mean, I would have liked to have gotten maybe a physical injury before I did this, but let's eat it. I wonder what it tastes like. Oh, that was an experience. Okay, it didn't do anything, I guess. Okay. Sure. So, system has 3 planets. It has a red giant. It has an ice planet. According to, if all those 3 things correspond together, that's our clue. At this point, I almost feel like we gotta go for it. Oh, did I switch? Yeah, I switched to pilot. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the landing this time. Again, if nothing happens here, if there's nothing we can take advantage of, then I'll just, you know, I'll call it a day and we'll move on from this point. Oh, transmission clutch slipping. I wasn't aware that spaceships had transmissions. Or a clutch, or whatever. Okay, let's visit. Alright, it's safe to board. The airlock is blocked, but I found another way in. Everything's been thrown around, so on and so forth. Maybe it can help us find something, yes? Success! I've opened a path through the ship to what I think is a restricted area. This should be a good prize. I can't get a good look at it in my EVA suit, but this looks interesting. Bring it to the ship. So it's a Logos gate paths. Free passage through a Logos gate. Well, we have not encountered this race yet, I don't believe. So we are going to take it, though. Got it, returning to the lander. Alright, so that paid off. Now we have another means. Now, if the Litza Pass is consumable, then that does give us the opportunity, if we encounter this Logos race, to then use that gate to go to the next Nebula sector. Alright, let me take a look real quick, just to make sure I have not encountered that race. No, we have not. Oh, so the dregs were... That one guy helped out. Okay. So it'd be nice to know where the Logos are so we could kind of make our decision based off of that. Okay, well... I think that's all we're going to get here. I am going to want to take a look at the map before we leave this system. We do have one more planet to go to, although it may be a little bit too big for us. We'll have to find out once we get there. Because it looks like it's almost the size of that star over there, so... Alright, we're going to leave orbit now. But yeah, I am a little bit concerned about the exotic materials. Again, I do have a full cargo hold full of those borates, though, so I shouldn't worry about it too much. I'm hoping that this planet is landable, and I hope it has the same resources that the other planet had. I have a little bit of concern, though, that it will have nothing, because we already encountered the one thing that we see this system has, phosphates and copper. So it's possible this planet has the same things that the other planet had. On the other hand, it's possible, I guess, it has nothing. I'm not sure if I've ever really encountered a planet that has nothing. Let's go ahead and... Nah, I don't want to encounter that guy. Okay, let's get into orbit here. It does have copper, but it's extreme risk because of the... Well, it's a high risk because of the extreme gravity, which I don't think we can handle, to be honest with you. So I think we just get out of the system. There's nothing really else for me to do here, in my opinion. So we're just going to leave. As soon as we spin around so that we're not going to be facing a star or something. And once we leave, I'll take a look on the map and we'll see what fits that criteria. So red star, ice planet, three planets. Well, that's a brown. It's possible it was in a system that I was already in. I just didn't pay close attention. Maybe it was a planet that was a risk to land on, and I just decided against it. Because it's not likely going to be here, right? Because that's 4 planets. That's too many planets. It could have been in Ross 780, in theory. It's not going to be there because of the 3 planets. Not there. I mean, it's very likely that it was in a system that I was in, and I just, for whatever reason, I didn't explore to the fullest extent because of certain concerns. For instance, this planet, this may qualify right here. We've got a red giant and 3 planets. So the only ones that qualify in this sector that I can see are systems we've already been to. And I think from this point on, unless this could be different, unless maybe all of these things don't correspond, and maybe Sinistra could be our system. But I think I've wasted enough resources trying to find this thing. I think we just move on from this point. I don't think it is worth it. So let's just move on. And we're going to go to where the shipwreck is. Now, I don't have any way of getting exotic materials. That's the one thing I really do need. This might be worth it more, going to Sinistra first. But I have to consider the fact that I'm burning through exotic materials to possibly get more exotic materials. So that is kind of a risk. I think we just go to the shipwreck and we hope for the best. And then from here, we could jump over to this system and get carbonates. My ultimate goal is to get over here so that I can use my gate pass. So maybe we jump here, 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 here. That's a lot of jumps. That's 4 in total, which is unfortunate, but I think for sure we're going to jump here just because of the shipwreck. I can't not go to the shipwreck. I feel like... Oh, wow, that's way on the periphery. Okay, well... Out of jump fuel, you can scoop EM from stars. Okay, well, I already knew that. This is an emergency measure. The radiation will stress both ship and crew to their limits. Scooping EM is less dangerous at low radiation stars. Well, I don't know what counts as a low radiation star. I mean, the star that we're in might count. Now, technically, that is one of the objectives that we have for Toby's Last Wish. So, that might be something we want to do, even though it is risky, just to tick off that box and we get some fuel out of it, too. Now, it's not something we need to do, because we've got the borates in our hold. Okay, so this is a big gas giant. It's not likely we'll be able to do anything here, but I'm already going to be in orbit, so why not? Yeah, okay, so extreme and temperatures are really high, so I don't think we go here. Instead, I think we just leave the orbit and we go towards the other gas giant, which is smaller. The chance for risk is just as high, though, in my opinion. Why don't we just keep going kind of in our orbit path and hope to eventually get over there, and then we can hit that ice planet too. So I'll leave now. We'll try and hit a goal for a higher orbit like that. And then we'll just kind of let ourselves carry with what momentum we have. And then if it comes down to it, I'll take a look at this star and the possibility of scooping up some exotic material. So far, our course seems to be taking us where I want to go. I'm pretty happy with the state of affairs otherwise. I mean, the rest of what we have, out of curiosity, that lander... Oh, it's the clutch for the drill. Okay, I think that makes a little bit more sense. So our efficiency with the drill is, let's just... It's fuel efficiency specifically. So we're going to waste more fuel using the drill. I don't know if that really is the worst thing in the world. Okay, so we're going a little far out, but I'm hoping that we'll start getting pulled in eventually. So I'm not going to worry about it. Right now, my trajectory is such that at worst, we'll hit that autopilot area. And then if that's the case, I'll just start changing my angle a little bit. But I'm hoping, I mean, we're continuing to bend here. We'll bend over and eventually we'll get in the direction we need to go to get to that shipwreck. It's going to take a while because it's clear on the other side of the system, but that's kind of the way navigation works here. I mean, I could burn through a lot of fuel trying to get there quicker, but I think at this point we do need to change the trajectory a little bit. We're getting a little far out. I'll kind of change the trajectory as we go. But I don't think the star is pulling us nearly as much now, so we may have to course correct ourselves. Now with this shipwreck, it's an encounter, so I don't have to orbit it, so I can come in at any speed I want. Downside, though, if I come in too fast, is I'm wasting fuel more or less, because we'll lose a lot of that momentum when I leave the encounter. There's a ship over there. I don't know if that is something that I need to be concerned with or not. Could be a ship salvaging. Could be an opponent for us if we try and go over there. Because they are not moving from that position. Alright, looks like we have more or less a straight-on course for the shipwreck. I might have to do a little bit of course correction. Our speed is slightly... well, it's fluctuating. Now it's going faster. I'm not exactly sure why. And it looks like we are being pulled a little bit off course. But again, I can course correct. Yeah, I am a little bit unsure why we're speeding up like we are. Maybe the gravity well of that planet, but it seems like we're pretty damn far away from it for it to be affecting me like that. Okay, so the ship did move away. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I don't know if it's going to be like, oh, somebody else already got here. I mean, I don't know if we know any details about this thing outside the fact that it's just a shipwreck that one guy that we have with us told us about. Now, I did kind of expect him to leave. Maybe it was something I should have interacted with him. Oh, this does kind of have a gravity well. A little bit. According to what I'm seeing here. Alright, let's come in. See what we've got. Okay, it is indeed a shipwreck. We still have our astronaut as our main person, so I guess that's alright. Airlock seal connected. EVA-1 ready to board. Attempting to board, but the systems are down. Doors locked tightly. I think the ship's power is either out or gone. Do we have something that might be of use? So we need a salvage kit. No. Perhaps I can find another way. Let me try pushing some of our power through it. If I can get the right systems, we should avoid feedback. Okay, so this is probably Kirsten trying with her skills to be able to get through this. We'll say yes. Oh, she got burned. Here we go. If I run the loop through here and then to here, and damn, I've fried the system. We're not going through here. Okay, well, that sucks. Now we have 2 burns on Kirsten. What I could do is I could change my pilot and maybe have another chance of doing it. I'm not sure. So let's just see what happens if I do that. So we're going to change to Malcolm. That's the one thing about the lander pilot thing. It's also who's going to be the person that encounters things like this. So you have to keep that in mind. Hey, back at the wreck. I don't see anything else for us here. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. We got a burn there and no real reward. And there's not a whole lot else I can do here. So I'm going to want to leave in a direction. Again, not a big fan of how this works. So you have to leave in the direction that you want to be facing when you leave an encounter. But I think this direction should be okay. And then we'll try and get to this planet. So that was just all around bad for us. I mean, if we had a scavenging kit, that'd be fine. But at the same time, we needed one not that long ago. I mean, it seems like you need those things fairly frequently if you're going to be encountering shipwrecks. And we haven't had the luck of actually encountering one at a spaceport or anything. As a matter of fact, the number of spaceports that we've had in general has been relatively low. Okay. Try and burn some of our speed off. Okay, the gravity's high. There is some copper on the planet. I can deal with that. There's a little bit of convection, so that could be some light winds. I think I can handle that. So let's go ahead and land. So the question is, do we want to risk burning more crew members by doing this star thing? I mean, again, we have to do that for Toby. And honestly, it's probably the most hazardous of the three things that we have to do. Unless the black hole thing is like we have to fly inside a black hole. Because if that's the case, then yeah, that's going to be the hardest one. Without a shadow of a doubt. But it's not really clear on what you need to do. For all I know, we have to actually fly into a star to get that objective, which we have already done technically. Not on purpose. Okay, let's go ahead and get some copper here. If we're lucky, this will be fairly easy. All right. From what I'm seeing, that might be all we get, which I'm not, you know, overly upset about. What I am upset about is more just another crew injury. So right now we have a tie between Kirsten Barrasso and our archaeologists on who has the most injuries. And I think this is a good point to go ahead and put a cut in the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.